Performance of the computer, how to measure. The performance of the computer can be measured by speed at which it can execute the program. So how fast the program can be executed, based on that we'll come to know that the performance of the system. So what are the factors that affect the performance? This is a simple definition that how to measure the performance. So how quickly it can execute the program. You can just execute a program. So how much time it is taking, based on that it is possible to measure the performance. What are the factors affecting the performance? There are mainly some of the important points or the factors that affect the performance. Mainly the hardware design used, machine language instruction set that is used for implementing the computers, then compilers. So these are the major factors that affect the computer performance. For best performance, it is necessary to design the compiler, the machine instruction set, and hardware in a coordinated way. That means all these three, it is not like that just using best compiler, we cannot tell that it provides the best performance. Even it depends on the what is the hardware design used and what type of machine language instruction set it is used. Okay, so all these three factors should work in coordinated way. So, so that we'll get the better performance. So we'll just continue and discuss how these factors affect the performance in detail one by one. So here I'm going to just explain, just introducing cache memory. That is an example of using best hardware design. It can improve the performance. So the processor time execute a program depends on hardware involved. Okay. So without cache, always getting the data from main memory, it may take a lot of time, memory access time. So now instead of that, so they have implemented a small cache memory, so that is embedded in the processor itself, where it can hold a small amount of data. And this cache memory is going to store the frequently accessed data. So let me explain how this cache memory works. The time needed to execute an instruction is called as a processor time. So how much time it requires to execute a program. So that is going to represent the processor time. The processor and relatively small cache memory can be fabricated on a single integrated chip. So in the diagram you can just observe. So this is the cache memory. Always the size of the cache is going to be very small compared to the main memory, but with respect to the speed, so cache memory is having higher speed. As execution proceeds, the instructions are fetched one by one over a bus into the processor, and copy is placed in the cache later. If the same instruction or data item needed a second time, it is read directly from the cache. That means, let me explain. Consider when the if the program started executing first time, always the processor is going to check in the cache. That is the procedure. It is going to check in the cache. If the data is not available, then request is sent to the main memory. Always when it is fetching first time, so it is not going to be available in the cache memory. It finds that there is a missing of the data. Then that request is sent to the main memory. So in main memory, the requested data is transferred. Once it is transferred, the copy of that data is stored into the cache memory. The copy of the data is stored into the cache memory, and the same data is given to the processor. The same thing it is going to repeat. For the next instruction, it is going to check in the cache memory. If it is not available, always when it is requesting first time, definitely that requested data is going to be not available in the cache memory. Okay. In case after some time, maybe there is a possibility that processor may request the same data. In that case, if it is already fetched, that copy is going to be available in the cache. So in that case, it is going to transfer that data directly from cache memory to the processor. So in this case, what happens? The memory access time can be reduced. Always remember, the performance of the computer can be improved by reducing the number of memory access between the processor and main memory. So by doing that, what happens is the performance can be improved because it will get the requested data with less time. So due to that, execution of the program going to be faster. So as the execution proceeds, instructions are fetched one by one over a bus into the processor. Copy is placed in the cache. Later, if same instruction or data item is needed second time, it is read directly from the cache memory. So like you can just think of what type of data the processor may request as same instruction or data it may request. So example, you can just take example of looping statement. So there is a possibility, depending on the condition given, the same set of instruction may be executed repeatedly. So when the loop is executing for the first iteration, definitely that data is not available, it has to get from the main memory. During the next iteration, obviously all these set of instructions, it is the copy is stored in the cache memory. So whenever the second iteration starts, it can directly get cache from the cache memory and processor can proceed execution. So in that case, what happens here? Memory access time. So getting data from main memory is always taking a lot of time. So that can be reduced using this hardware design. So that is, if movement of instruction data between the main memory and the processor is minimized, which is achieved by using cache memory technique. It is one technique of improving the hardware design so that the performance of the computer can be improved. Next we have processor clock. So that is clock cycle and clock rate. So what is clock here? See, every task or the operation in the computer system, it works based on the clock information. So the processor circuits are controlled by timing signals called clock. Clock defines regular interval of time. Execution of each instruction is divided into several steps, each of which complete in one clock cycle. That means the execution of any one instruction. You just recall in the previous class I explained how exactly if you take any one instruction, what are the basic steps it is going to go through to execute this instruction. So each of those steps it is going to take one clock cycle. That means to execute this instruction, it may take several clock cycles to complete its operation. So here the length of the clock cycle is denoted by P. Its inverse of the clock rate is called as inverse of clock cycle, we call it as clock rate, and it is represented as cycles per second, or it can be represented as hertz. So that means if there is more number of clock cycles per second, then so we can achieve more number of tasks with less number of cycles, and the performance obviously it is going to improve. So here there is an example like what is the number of clock cycle it is going to take to perform the operation. So example, PC workstation computer have clock rates that range from few hundred million to over billion cycles per second. This is the speed of the workstation. So based on this, the performance also going to be vary. It is not same for all the systems, all different types of system, it is going to vary.